Take a big, slow, deep breath in through your nose, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now slowly exhale and push that breath and all the stress and tension out of your body. 4, 3, 2, 1. That calm you're feeling right now? That's what you get with HubSpot. Their all-on-one customer platform replaces the chaos of all those random tools you're using now with a single, powerful platform for all your teams. Get everyone on the same frequency and boost output. Take care of the tedious stuff with AI-powered tools, generate better leads for marketing, close more deals for sales, and earn more 5-star reviews for service. So don't hold your breath. Enjoy the zen that HubSpot brings to growing your business. Visit HubSpot.com to learn more today. Hello, everybody. Welcome to June 18th. It's a Tuesday. I'm John Weigell here with Mark Dent, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis banned fake meat in the state about a month ago, and similar legislation is not far off from Alabama, Arizona, and Tennessee. But amid this ban-happy culture, companies like Tender are still producing meat alternatives and getting millions in funding to do so. So who comes out on top in this fake meat race, and can the industry ever be hugely profitable? We'll get to that in a bit, but first let's give you the hits and headlines today in business and tech. To kick us off today, McDonald's is sunsetting its AI drive-thru ordering by the end of July. The 2-year-old program, which was a partnership with IBM, will be removed from over 100 restaurants. I've never seen it in my McDonald's lifetime, but if you have one near you, it's going to be going away. Sorry. Next, Tesla sold out of its $450 Tesla Mezcal, which comes in a lightning-shaped glass bottle. Naturally, someone is now trying to hawk one on eBay for about $5,000. No surprise there. Over to TikTok. TikTok's Symphony digital avatars are ready to help brands reach customers around the world. These stock avatars are based on paid actors, while custom avatars can resemble a specific creator, and both can deliver dubbed content in over 10 languages. Pretty crazy, Mark.
Yeah, the future is coming, as we say on here a lot. But I mean, this blows my mind in, I guess, so many ways. You know, just the fact that technologically that they're going to be able to do it is, quite impressive. But I'm also just unsure of what the merits of it will end up being. People don't like ads, period. And so if brands are using an avatar of a person who people may or may not know, because these are just influencers, not like, right, famous Hollywood actors or something like that. I mean, are they really going to be more likely to want to see the ad? I don't think so. It just seems like somehow like even less palatable.
Yeah, we've been talking a bit on the podcast about how the influencer bubble is kind of almost exploding to the point where everybody's trying to sell you something, so you kind of shy away from all influencers. And I think this comes at actually the perfect time for people to not like it.
Yeah.
And so
it's like now it's like fake influencers. It's not even influencers.
Right. It's not even real people relating to you on real matters that they deal with every day that aren't even real in the first place. Probably they're fabricated anyways. So these are fabricated versions of fabricated stories. So it's crazy. I'm sure it might work at the beginning, but I'm sure people will wise up to it pretty quick on TikTok.
Yeah, so at least it will lead to some influencers getting a nice extra paycheck, I suppose, for them at least.
That'll be nice for them. Okay, up next, Dolly Parton's business empire is once again expanding, this time with Dolly Wines. The singer's collection of wines hits stores next month with a peaches and cream inspired Chardonnay. I'll be first in line. And finally, Nestle wants to boost DiGiorno sales via a, quote, chaotic pies program, including 4 limited edition pizzas tied to Marvel's Deadpool and Wolverine. DiGiorno currently ranks second in the frozen pizza sales behind Red Baron. Okay, on to the main story today. Fake meats are gaining traction in some ways and losing ground in many others. Florida officially banned lab-grown meat last month, but that hasn't seemed to shake tons of investors who are getting on the trend with startups like Tender. So first, Mark, can we talk about what happened in Florida, and has the lab-grown meat industry just been hugely affected by that at all?
Yeah. So, I mean, what happened in Florida recently is that the state legislature passed a law which effectively bans the production of fake meat as well as the sale of fake meat in Florida. So, I mean, it's a pretty huge decision.
Yeah.
And frankly, it could be quite a hurdle for the fake meat industry. There's a couple other states that are considering this, including Arizona and Tennessee. And I think that, this was done in Florida as a means of protecting the meat industry, as some of the legislators put it. They don't think fake meat is healthy and that this is a means of protecting consumers. Obviously, that's very debatable. But yeah, nevertheless, this, I think, shows just the kind of general decline of fake meat that's happened since 2019, when, these companies like Impossible and Beyond first started to really make a splash. Their stocks were going up and everybody was like, fake meat is the future. And, that just hasn't happened. Even if you take away these bans that we've seen just recently, I mean, fake meat sales, depending on which company and exactly which statistics you're looking at, I mean, they fell around 10 to 15% between 2021 and 2023.
Yeah, and you and I talked a bit before the show about kind of the weird decline of fake meat, because it seems like there's been so much investment in it, as we'll talk about, but there's also been a bit of a pullback on a lot of people's parts, and that doesn't even seem to be due to this ban or the potential bans. That just seems to be due to fake meat not exactly finding the correct market for it.
Yeah, or if there is a big enough market for it, because, like I was saying with those statistics right there, I mean, that has nothing to do with bans from Florida or any other state. I mean, they just fell on their own. And I don't know, I eat fake meat sometimes. I kind of like the taste of it, actually. And that said, I rarely find it at my local grocery store now because of the fact that it's become so unpopular, I suppose, and nobody wants to buy it other than me. Yeah. I don't know. Also, its price stayed about the same during the kind of like really true period of inflation in like 2022, 2021, et cetera, when you saw like real meat prices going up. But now, according to the LA Times, some of the fake meat companies are increasing their rates now that real meat is starting to stabilize. And that to me seems like another obstacle for them that I just can't quite comprehend why they'd be doing that now. But in the end, I just think there's a market for it that they thought would be much larger. They thought there'd be people who'd be willing to switch from regular meat to fake meat. And there just have not been a lot of people doing that. And then when you have like vegetarians and vegans, I mean, they have other ways of, filling up and eating food. They don't need to have this fake meat that a lot of people would point out is very processed. In the end, yeah, like they're really struggling right now.
Yeah, and you mentioned a big part of it before, I feel like, which is the price component. If you're going to the grocery store and a pound of ground beef is $5.99 and a pound of Beyond Beef is $7.99, I mean, most people would probably just go for the regular beef anyways.
Yep.
But then there's a company like Tender, that's a startup that we're talking about, that just got an extra $11 million in funding that pledges to make lab-grown meats, but aptly price them to compete, actually. Do you see any kind of legs in that?
I think so. I mean, obviously there is some legs to it. That the fact that they're just getting this new infusion of funding of $11 million, suggests that it's going to be able to kind of move itself forward here a little bit. And the big thing with Tender that they say they're different is that their technology allows them to do like the whole muscle cut of products, i.e., like a chicken breast or like a steak. Whereas like what we see from like, Beyond and Impossible and companies similar to that is, more or less ground meat,
Sure.
The fake meat version of ground meat at least. So it's I think going to be a different product. And of course they say, that it's going to be healthier. They say that it's going to taste better. I mean, I think all of those things are up for debate. But I think the fact that it's at least offering something a little bit different than what we have maybe gives it a different lane than what we've already seen, and potentially the possibility to grow.
Yeah, and also, I mean, another big factor in this is with companies like 10 springing up, you gotta believe that meat companies or larger meat distributors are not going to take this lying down, so to speak, that they're going to try to fight to keep the industry kind of where it is.
They have not taken any of this lying down, whether it's Beyond, whether it's Impossible, any of these sort of lab-grown meat companies. I mean, the power that the food industry has and the ag industry, I mean, they are among the biggest lobbyists, among the biggest forces in the country, which is why you see laws passing in Florida like we just did. And also, if you listen to comments that, people from Beyond Meat and other proponents of lab-based meat, as they've shared in this Los Angeles Times story that I was mentioning earlier, is that they say, one of the big reasons why you've seen the sort of approval rate and the interest that people have in fake meat go down over the last couple of years is because of lobbying efforts from the likes of the food industry.
And yeah, I think that's what it all comes down to. If the food industry is willing to let fake meat make an economic impact or not, which of course it isn't right now. It wants it to stay status quo pretty much. So over time, if these startups keep getting investments this large and keep getting spread this widely, maybe we'll see that overturn in time. Because as I'm reading lately, there's a lot of concern about how long we as a global economy can eat meat. So we'll see if that changes anybody's opinion in time at all.
Yeah. And the concerns are obviously environmental, as a lot of people know. There's a huge environmental impact when it comes to raising animals and producing chicken and beef and things like that. There's one statistic I found here that I thought was kind of fascinating, is that according to NBC, that global protein demand is expected to double by 2050. Wow. So, there is certainly a need for just more of everything in this space. And you'd think that at least some of these fake meat companies can provide that, unless they continue to have all these obstacles. But like I said, not all of the obstacles are, coming from governmental forces or from food lobbies. A lot of the obstacle just comes from the fact that, people might not quite be ready for it yet.
Yeah. I'll try it. I'm happy to try it on a personal level. I'd be happy to give it a go and see what it tastes like and see how it is. But, maybe that's just not everybody out there.
No, definitely not yet.
All right, well, that'll do it for us today. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show, everybody. We're a proud part of the HubSpot Podcast Network. Our editor today is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a ton more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed to it, go get yourself signed up at thehustle.co/email, and we'll see you later.